Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brew day. Today we're doing the Timothy Taylor Landlord clone. We're doing a double batch. Just going to run the umbilical out to the Just going to run the umbilical out to the plug. I'll show you how I do it here actually. So I have my power comes in. See that silver cable there? That's my power. Comes to this because I've got a 40 amp supply. Okay, so take the umbilical. This is, I used to have an electric car, so this is an electric car charger and it's just been disconnected, and they put a commando socket on there for me. So it's got its own individual spur off the side of the house, and that's a 63 amp with a D40, and then the D is the highest rating fuse trip switch thingy majiggy that you can get. It's like industrial strength. So I can run, basically I run 3 elements of that. I run the 2 in my old boil kettle, which is now my hot liquor ton, and 1 which is the Hopcat, which is 3 kilowatts. So let's get cracking. I'll put the Hopcat up here, do the programming, and then I'll put it back down. So today I'm using the Waitrose Essential Water. I normally use the Tesco Ashbeck one, but they had none in stock. So I just put a few litres in so I don't get any, when the element turns on, any scorching or anything. I need to get back into using RO water, but at this point in time, the 2 cubes that I have, these 2 cubes, I bought them second hand, and they were holding some kind of a food syrup type stuff, and there's just a flavour that I get off the water, so I'm going to need to buy new ones. I've already ordered them, rather than using second hand ones. Then I can go back to RO water and build up the profile again. Okay, so you're probably familiar with how I do it. Basically, I will warm the water up to 68 degrees. Then I will mash at 66 for 60 minutes. Then I will go straight to the boil. And when it gets to, I'll constantly recirculate that. When it gets to 77, 78 degrees, I'll just pull out the malt pipe and start to sparge. So usually my sparge finishes about when the boil starts, so it saves a bit of time. So, auto. First step, I want to just drop the power down a little bit. I don't use full power. It's some advice that was given on the one of the pages. So I want to do 2,800 watts. For 1 minute. This is just to get it up to temperature, and I want the temperature to be 69. Okay, auto. The second setting is the mash, so I want the power to be about 500. Okay, and I want the temperature to be 66. 66, and the timer 60 minutes. Okay, then I want to boil at, this is going to be a double batch, so I'm going to go for like 2,800 watts because I'm going to need the power to boil like 45 litres of water. Okay, first hop drop is at 60 minutes. I guess I'll have to do 59 here. Yeah, 59 minutes. Oopsie, sorry. Let's go back through the cycle. Then there's your first hop drop. Then you press timer to go for your second hop drop. Second hop drop's at 15. And that is it. So, let's start. And it's clicked on. Cool. Catch you when I'm ready to mash in. Hey guys, so I am getting the malt pipe ready. She's remember to have the indent going up towards the middle. I've got a grain bill today of about 9 kilos, so I'm going to use both parts of the malt pipe. Just coming up to temperature. I'm only at 28 degrees at the moment, so it's going to take a little while. Just need to get everything sorted. Okay guys, so I'm just going to open up the bag here. So I got this from the Worcester Hop Shop, so it's just 2 of the same recipe pack for Timothy Taylor Landlord. This recipe didn't touch sides. It was in the keg for about 3 weeks and it's all gone. So I'm doing a double batch this time. I've also bought another keg, so I can have. I've now got 2 kegs that I can have conditioning, and the third keg is. The other 4 kegs are in the keezer. So I should end up with, because these kits come with everything, I should have 2 packs of yeast as well, which I will use because I want this to ferment out properly. Elvis juice is the next one. Landlord and Landlord. Hey guys, okay, so we're nearly at temperature. Just wanted to let you know I'm using the both parts of the malt pipe on this one because it's a double batch. So there's going to be about 9 kilos of grain in there. I think it takes up to 15, so I'm not maxing it out, but should be a really good test of a double batch brew day. We're at 66.6, so we're nearly at doughing in temperature, which is 68. See you there. Okay guys, so I've got an assistant camera lady here today, and you can hear the bing bong. That means it's ready. It's at 69 degrees, so it's time to dough in. A little tip, what I like to do, if you just come over here, what I like to do when I'm doughing in, if you aim it down here at the thing, I just put a towel over the edge like this, and it stops any grain from falling in this bit here, because I'm going to be doughing in from up here, probably from the other side though. So, let's get going. Okay, so what I like to do as well while I'm doughing in is I keep the water circulating. It just keeps the mash consistency nice and loose at the beginning, so that you make sure all your grain gets wet. After that, the mash will thicken up a little bit, but it does help. Hey guys, so we're back, and as you can see, so I don't mess around too much. I just go straight for the boil. And then I keep recirculating the wort through the grain bed until I get to 78 degrees Celsius here. And then I just pull the malt pipe out. So I've just pulled the malt pipe out and I'm sparging. And it's just a gravity sparge here. So I just try and keep it so that there's a little layer of water on top there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but literally just gravity fed out of the kettle. I could probably turn that up just a little bit. And there you go. Oh, a little bit fogged up, but I'm sure you get the gist of it. So the next step is sparge with about 35 litres of sparge water. This thing's going to be pretty topped out when it comes to sort of how full it is. So I'm going to be careful with the boil over, but you're going to end up with lots of beer at the end. So that's what we want. Okay guys, so I've got the malt pipe fully out now. So what happened is I sparged until the wort inside the kettle made contact with the bottom of the malt pipe on the first height setting. Then I've lifted it out and I've sparged a little bit more, but you'll notice that I can't really gravity feed that because of the height differential here. So I've just done a couple of 5 litre jugs like that. Getting to the point now we're at about 88 degrees Celsius, so we're nearly at the boil. And yes, one other thing I wanted to say is my mash pH was between 5.2 and 5.4, which is exactly what I wanted. But I recently listened to an article about pH in the beer and all the way through to the finished product, how it can affect things like haziness, conversion, whatever. So in the mash I was happy with that. I know I would have got my conversion, but I acidified my sparge water just a little bit with some lactic acid. So I've got this 80% lactic acid, and I put 3 mils of lactic acid in to just bring down the pH a little bit. It's bottled water from a shop, but it did say the pH should be about 6.7. I don't know how trustworthy that is because I think it'll change depending how long it's stored and all of that. But just wanted to say I've acidified it a little bit. Bit of a test, and it's probably not the right thing to do on a 45 litre batch of beer. But what it should do is help get the beer a little bit cleaner, taste a little bit crisper, but also drop less of a sort of protein haze or anything like that. So hopefully. Hey guys, okay, so we're back. We've done the first hop drop at 60 minutes. We're now doing we've done the 15-minute hop drop. I've done it in bags. See the bag there? Purely because it's leaf hops again. The place I get the stuff from, it's really cost effective. It's like 12 quid for a recipe pack with the yeast and everything, but it's pretty much always leaf hops. So I've got them in the bag. Got 8 minutes left on the boil, and then after that I'm going to cool that motherfucker down and get it in the fermenter. I reckon at the moment, looking at volumes, I should get like 43-44 litres, which is pretty much what I wanted, and my pre-boil gravity was 1052, so I might need to liquor it back just a little bit. Cool. Hey guys, okay, so we're down to 29 degrees on the, it's what the Hopcat's reading, but I am recirculating into the top here. I've just turned off the recirculation, sorry, but there I am into the top here like that. So I would say it's considerably colder than that if you take the temperature of the whole thing. So I'm going to now transfer it. I'm going to just take this out and put it into the fermenter. I'm going to transfer that through the plate chiller. So it's going to chill it some more. So it might end up a little bit cold, but it'll be there in the ballpark. So I'll be able to pitch within an hour. So I've stopped the flow here. I'll take the thing out, hang it over the edge of the fermenter, and turn her on. Now, if you have a look here, I'm going to get a bit of height on this if you can as well, like, and so what I'm doing there by having that height on there is I'm aerating it at the same time. So this is literally just transferring into the fermenter. Effortless brew day, really. I had one issue where I went inside for a little while and I had the water flowing through the plate chiller, and on the hot side of the out hose for the water, the pipe got so hot that it just sort of it became really malleable and it just popped out. So I fucking came back in here and it was an absolute state. I mean, there was literally water everywhere. It forced me to wash the floor though, so you know, every cloud. But yeah, so this is it, and I'll probably give you a little quick thing of me sprinkling the yeast on the wort, like Like, what did you call it, Shady? Sprinkle that yeast like glitter on a stripper. Yeah. Hey guys, okay, so I'm going to pitch the yeast now. It's 2 bags of Safal SO4. The temperature of the wort after it came out through the plate chiller was 19.6. So it's 2 bags of SO4. So 19.6 is bang in the target range for this, I believe, which is 15 to 20. So I'll probably ferment this at 18, but I'm happy to pitch it a little bit warm, so you can see the pitching of the yeast. Look at it go.
That looks like my bee when I haven't had enough water to drink.
Oh my god, I'm making a blog here. Like, can you not shut up? Sorry about that. Sorry about that to all my millions of subscribers. Anyway. Okay guys, so brew day's done. I pitched the yeast. I'm looking at 10:52. If you can see that. 10:52, which is pretty good. I'm expecting it to go down to about 10:12. Should be a decent strength beer. Not too strong, not too weak. And I'll see you guys on the next. Hey guys, so we are now going to put a dry hop. I bought extra hops for the dry hop because last time I just missed a little bit of hop zing. It was a lovely, lovely ale, but I just thought a little bit more aroma on the hops, maybe even a slight bit of flavour wouldn't go amiss. So I checked the gravity on the beer yesterday morning. It was 10:14. Checked it again today. It's still 10:14. It's the evening now. So, well, let me give you a little look here how it's set up. So this is a 50 litre fermenter. It's filled up to the 45 litre mark. Then I've got a blow-off tube that comes out here into a bottle at the back there. I'm not sure if you can see that. So what I need to do at this point, without knocking that bottle over, hopefully, I just try and wedge the pipe in there, is take this off. Okay, could have been a bit of reverse pressure on there, or maybe it was just gravity. And then try and get the hops. I can do like a hop cam action. So that is 50 grams of East Kent Goldings. So I can smell it already. That's the flavour and aroma that I'm looking for on this beer. So I'll just tuck her back in here quickly. I'm not going to overly tighten the tri-clamp fitting now because fermentation's finished, so it's only literally performing the simple task of not allowing anything back in here. So yeah, we'll tuck her away for another 4 days. Oh yes, sorry, one last thing is I dropped the temperature for the, so we're on, well, it's 8.2 there, but I've got it set to 8.5. So at the same time as putting the hops in, I don't want to kick off any more fermentation or anything like that, and I also don't want to impart any bitterness. I know there's a lot of controversy. People say it does or it doesn't add bitterness, but I've always had good results dropping it to like 12 degrees. I just thought this time I get to 8.5. Hopefully the yeast will drop out as well, and then over the next 4 days I'll drop it by a couple of degrees a day till it's down to 1 degree, and then keg it. So 46 litres, I should get 2 kegs, and with losses of maybe another 4 litres or something like that. So I'll need to find somewhere to put the 4 litres, probably put them in bottles, or a colleague at work has asked me to put some in a keg for him, like those little 5-litre kegs, but he has to buy one, drink the beer that was in it, and then give me the keg to fill up. So hopefully that happens. If not, it'll go in bottles. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the last bit of the video, and that is going to be the tasting. This is the final result. If I give you a look into the light, beautiful and clear. I did find this with gelatin in the fermenter. Now the one issue I had is that when I cold crashed it, obviously the headspace, the air in the headspace retracts, and it pulled back some star sand through the blow-off tube into the beer. So I had about 46 litres of beer, and about 300 mils of star sand solution went back into the fermenter. I was a bit worried, and I don't know if it's just because I know it's happened, but I am picking up a certain element of, it's like a tartness that you would get from low pH, so almost like a lemony type flavour, but sorry, a lemony feel on the tongue, but without the lemony flavour. So I put it out to the guys in a short video, and the general consensus was to use baking soda to bring the pH up. So I've done that. I've done a couple of experiments with it, and when I measure the pH now, it's looking around 4.6. So it was not even registering when I dipped the stick in. The lowest is 4.6. I can show you the colour of one of the ends. So it's a very, very light yellow, nowhere near the colour there. It wasn't changing colour at all, so I wasn't sure how low the pH was, and to be honest, I think it could also have been caused by the fact that I acidified my sparge water. That's a separate issue. But anyway, so I've added a little bit of baking soda, and I have had a little taster. It's amazing how it changes the mouthfeel of the beer as well. That is an absolutely lovely beer. I've got 2 kegs full of this, and I'm going to enjoy making my way through them. This one is only a few weeks old from Brew Day, and I'll be drinking that now. I don't need to let that age any longer. But the other keg, which will replace this one when it kicks, will have had a few weeks to age, so I'm really happy with the outcome of that. The Hopcat, I was literally, I was up to the, obviously this wasn't in, but you know the metal ring that comes around the outside here, I was only about half an inch below that, and there were some times where I was really quite worried, especially coming up to the boil, about getting a boil over and all that. I was really quite careful, kept stirring it until I got the rolling boil, and if the protein on top started to rise, I was blowing on it, and actually that seems to work quite well, so it's a decent tip. But once we had the rolling boil, I had no problems. I used hop bags, muslin bags for the hops. Everything worked a treat this time. I was really happy. In fact, with that plate chiller, I overshot the cooling. So I'm thinking what I'm going to try and do next time, instead of recirculate back into the Hopcat, I'm going to transfer straight into the fermenter, but make sure my flow is really quite slow so that I get a really good heat exchange. So that there's literally, I'm not doing a whirlpool, I'll do a quick whirlpool, let it settle, and then just transfer everything out. Really, really happy with the gear, really happy with the way the brew day went. I mean, I got 46 litres of beer, of wort in the fermenter, and that took me 5 hours. So that's 38 litres in the kegs. They were both full to the top, and there was a little bit of beer that I threw out just because I couldn't be bothered to transfer it into a bottling bucket and bottle it. But I probably could have got another 4 bottles or so out there. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I know this has been a bit of a long video, but you know, I'm trying to get as much detail as I can into the first few videos I do with the Hopcat. From now on, I think I'll just do like a little musical montage, bang bang bang, Hopcat on, hops, cool, get it in the fermenter, brew day done. Take it easy guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.